Far beneath the quiet, glowing ocean, there lived a little princess named Lola. She was a gentle and kind child, with a heart full of warmth and light. Wherever she went, she brought a soft glow with her, and everyone who met her loved her dearly. But little Lola had a secret wish. She didn't want to be a princess. She didn't care about crowns or grand palaces under the sea. All she wanted was to be a child, to laugh, to play, and to drift through the water all day long, just like the other little mermaids. Each day she would watch them from afar as they twirled and played in the shimmering blue water, their laughter soft and echoing like a lullaby. And as Lola floated gently in the calm ocean, she would close her eyes and imagine a world where she was free to play, to dream, and to simply be. And in that quiet, peaceful dream, she smiled, and the ocean held her softly, as everything became still, and calm, and safe.
Today will be a different day.
Her mother would quietly enter her room and gently stroke her. Getting dressed was always the hardest part. Lola simply didn't want those fancy, beautiful dresses. She didn't need them for playing. She would often make up little tricks, get upset, or simply refuse to get dressed. When she was finally ready and dressed, she would look at herself in the mirror. But the mirror would come to life, and instead of the beautiful dress and her neatly brushed hair, she would see her friends, ready to play. But her responsibilities did not end there. Lola entered the grand ballroom accompanied by her mother, and there he was waiting for her. Mr. Octopus, the finest courtier in all the kingdoms. His task was to shape her into a perfect example of proper behaviour. He showed the young princess every movement of the dance, every little turn and graceful motion. He gave everything he had to teach her. But Lola simply watched him without any interest. Her attention would often drift somewhere else. He would place a small stick along her back so she could dance with a straight posture, showing her every movement in the most graceful way that every young princess was expected to learn. But Lola simply didn't want to. Sometimes Mr. Octopus would become strict and declare that they would not finish until Lola had danced everything perfectly. Once again he would take a deep breath, and to the rhythm of the music he would demonstrate the movements that were expected of her. And just before Lola was about to begin dancing, her friends would appear, and she would drift away once again into the games that were waiting for her. She would forget where she was and go off with them, but Mr. Octopus would appear, and the lesson had to continue. Her friends would leave and her lesson had to continue. She sat down on a small rock and grew sad. She wanted to go outside and play with her friends. She didn't want to dance alone. But today, Mr. Octopus was more gentle. He showed Lola the clock. "Only until the big hand rises," he said, "and then you will be free." Lola felt happy and began to dance. Her movements were not perfect, but they were enough for what Mr. Octopus expected. "Just a little more," she whispered to herself. "Just a little more." And truly, after just a few more small movements, she heard the clock chime. The clock struck exactly 12, y'all, and then it simply broke. And Lola, she was on the 7th sea of happiness. And then she danced a dance that Mr. Octopus had never taught her. The dance of joy. She danced and danced, doing forward and backward flips, spinning in circles and filling the hall with her bright, ringing laughter. And then she danced a dance that Mr. Octopus had never taught her. The dance of joy. She danced and danced, doing forward and backward flips, spinning in circles and filling the hall with her bright, ringing laughter.
Are you done for today?
Yes, it was over, and the play could begin at once. She took out a beautiful ball, shimmering in many colours, a gift from her father who had brought it from a distant kingdom. Everyone loved playing with it, even the dolphins. One would throw it while the others chased after it. Sometimes they stood in a circle, passing it to one another for a long time. Sometimes they would lose it, and then find it again. The games with the ball, and not only with it, would continue until late hours. The game was wonderful, and the children were having so much fun. Even the strict Mr. Octopus enjoyed the sight. He would often stand beside the Queen, quietly watching and secretly delighting in the game, and in the carefree laughter of the little, happy mermaids. And often, Lola would think that the game could go on for days, that she could play and play without ever stopping. But then suddenly she would feel it. The tiredness would come quietly, almost unnoticed. The hours would pass, and the little mermaid would be ready to lie down and enter the adventure called sleep. With that she had no trouble. She did not resist it, because she knew that sleep would give her new strength, and that meant even more joyful moments to come.
Time for bed.
Like clockwork, her mother would call her to come home. In the evening, before going to bed, her mother would read her stories, and Lola had many questions.
But why
This
do we
question
have
was
to
not
do
an easy
things we
one,
don't
but
like?
her mother had to answer honestly. She had to tell her that everyone has their own responsibilities, and that even the smallest little mermaid has them too. Her mother wrapped her in a warm, gentle embrace as they continued to talk in soft, sweet whispers. Their voices grew quieter and calmer, like the gentle movement of the ocean at night. Lola rested her head against her mother, feeling safe and peaceful, listening to the soothing sound of her voice. Her mother softly stroked her hair again and again, each touch slower than the last. The room grew still. The ocean outside shimmered quietly, and everything felt calm and warm and safe. Their words began to fade into silence, and little by little, both of them drifted away, carried gently into sleep.